Hey guys and gals, this is Bloggy the Broken Legion of Gamers, and in this video I'm going to go over primers and just review the few primers that I use and tell you guys which ones I prefer more than others, and let's get to it. But first let's do the COPPA disclaimer. This channel is not and never was aimed or intended to be viewed by children. This video and none of the videos before it are aimed or intended towards children. If you are 12 years of age or under, please click out of this video and then come back and watch it with your parents on your parents' YouTube account. Now, with that out of the way, let's get to the video. Well, today I decided to start priming some miniatures. Mostly all my built Star Wars Legion miniatures are primed, and about a handful of my Marvel Crisis Protocol miniatures are primed. And as I was priming, I started to notice something. For the longest time, I have recommended white primer through an airbrush. I've been specifically using the Vallejo surface primer that you see right here. This isn't designed for an airbrush, but I've used it no problems without even thinning it, just straight out of the bottle going through the airbrush, and I thought I was getting really good coverage, but apparently not. And the black I use is from the same line from Vallejo. The only difference with the gray is I'm using the Vallejo Mecha Primer, which is specifically, as you can see right here, water-based acrylic airbrush primer in gray. And to tell you the truth, if you put the white next to it, it could... Oh, no, now I can see the difference, but it can pass for dark white. So I think for my priming, for light colors, I think I'm going to be switching to the Mecha Vallejo gray. And anytime I'm going to base coat in gray, I'll use, for now, the black Vallejo surface primer, because I'm noticing that the coverage with white primers isn't as good as the black and grays. Like, you can still see through it. It's a little bit too opaque. And there's a spot I missed with the primer. Keep in mind, I'm using two Master Series airbrush. For both paint primers, I'm using Master Series airbrushes. For the white and black, I use the same exact airbrush, the G233 that I unboxed on this channel. Now, for the gray, I'm also using a Master G Series airbrush. I think it's the two something for the gray, because I'm doing so many more models in gray. I'm using the Master Series siphon feed airbrush. This, the one I used for the white, because it's a gravity feed, should be the superior product. Should have the superior finish because it's a superior product. I prefer gravity feed. Gravity feed is better for airbrushes, but as you can see, that the paint is definitely what affects the finish. So if you guys are going to be using an airbrush, first off, the Mecha Primer line, it was phenomenal. Flowed a lot faster. It cut my work time down in half, and it has the superior coverage. Not to say the surface primer isn't as good. The surface primer is definitely a good primer, but this This, at this point, I'd recommend more as a brush-on primer. And there's nothing wrong with brush-it-on primer, especially if you're a beginner. Go with a brush on the primer. This way, it's one less thing for you to worry about. But if you're going to do the airbrushing, definitely use the Mecha Primer line from Vallejo. I'm definitely happy with it, but with everything I'm experiencing now, definitely stay away from white primers. A gray primer is definitely a superior priming color than the white, and I'm sure yellow will I'm sure that'll definitely work with yellow very well. But that's it for this video, guys. If you like what you see, if you have any questions, put them in the comments section. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and hit that bell icon so you're notified anytime I put up a video in the future. And as always, support local wargaming. Here at the channel, we support Toy Wiz in Nanuet, New York, on Route 59, right across the street from the Dunkin' Donuts. Have a nice day, guys.